Okay, so great to be here with you. It's Bret Gregory, and we're going to be talking about your Facebook ads today and how to reach the customers you need to reach, how to scale your business, how to really get you out there, how to stop you from being the best kept secret ever, so that you can get out there, make a bigger difference in the world, make a big impact, and really help those people you were truly meant to serve. If you're just joining us here, please go to the questions box and tell us what city and country you're tuning in from. I'm just going to write a little note. You are tuning in from. So please go into the chat bar and tell us what city and country you're tuning in from. And if you want to see how we can, we're going to teach you about Facebook ad placement, but if you want to see how we do this webinar that you're watching right now, if you want to see how we do this on Facebook Live, then write the words Facebook Live. Hey, PK from LA, how you doing? David from Western Australia. Hey, Kate from Brisbane, Australia. Ken's from Dayton, Ohio. Mark's from Melbourne, Australia. Sharon's from Vancouver, BC. It's so great to have a international audience. I love it. It's so much fun. Kim's from Vancouver. Also, wow, Janet wants a little Facebook Live. Sharon wants a Facebook Live. So if you want to see how we show this webinar that you're watching right now, how we show it on Facebook Live, then go and write the words Facebook Live. Sharon says Facebook Live. Jeff is from Vancouver. Ricardo's from Brazil. Welcome, Ricardo. I love the international audience, and part of it is I love to travel and I love to go all over the world, so I'm always interested in seeing the next place that I want to visit. So Ricardo, the most recent place was I was in Brazil, where I went to the Olympics. I took my family there to the Olympics, and that was absolutely awesome. I got to shut off Slack here because it is going to keep popping up like this if I don't. So I gotta quit it. There we go. Should be all good now. Cool. So a lot of you said Facebook Live. So I'm just gonna show you something. I'm gonna pull this off, and there's my picture of me in Africa. I was on the top of Mount Kilimanjaro there. But that's not why I pulled the picture off. I pulled the picture off to show you how we get this to broadcast on Facebook Live. So first off, you can't broadcast on Facebook Live today directly from Webinar Jam. It just doesn't have the option. So what does have the option is Zoom. And I've really been liking Zoom. When I first used Zoom, I did not like it at all. I thought it was just sort of a different version of Skype. But what I've discovered, I've come to really, really appreciate Zoom and really like it now that I've gotten to learn how to use it. And there's two different parts of Zoom. One part of Zoom is like Skype, where you can chat with people. You do video chat and have video meetings. But then there's another part of Zoom that is also webinars. And so that's it's like an upgraded purchase. But I think for $40 a month, I have a Zoom account that allows for webinars. So it's not the free version. You got to have the version that allows webinars. Usually the lowest price version of Zoom is like 19 bucks a month, but that does not allow for webinars. You have to get the $40 a month one that does allow for webinars. So once you get the one that does allow for webinars, you can set up your webinar, and when you go to start your webinar, it takes you to this page. It says broad, and one of the options is, where do you want to broadcast your webinar? And so in fact, actually, let me just take it one step back. So for those of you who use Zoom, the first thing that happens is you get a screen that comes up like this, and you can see there's some controls down here at the bottom where you click on the button that says more. So remember, if you don't have the webinar upgrade, the $40 a month upgrade, this button doesn't exist when you get on Zoom. You won't see it. But with the $40 upgrade, you set up a webinar, and then you click on this more button. You can see I could go live on YouTube, or I could go live on Facebook. And so you click the Live on Facebook button, and then that takes you to this page, and that's where you decide, where do you want to share this? I could share it on my personal timeline. I could share it on my page, which is what I'm about to do. I could share it to a group, which is really handy sometimes. But in this case, I'm just going to share it to a page. And then you have to select which page. So I have more than one page. So you select your page. So I'm going to select my page, Bret Gregory. And then I'm going to click Go Live. And then what should happen, if Zoom doesn't crash, what should happen is that I should be streaming now on Facebook Live. And so with Zoom, then I want to make sure that I am sharing my screen so people can see what it is that I'm actually sharing. And so I'm going to be sharing, I got to share my my correct desktop. There we go. I am sharing it. And so now people should be able to see this on my Facebook page if it didn't just crash. I think it did. Yep. See how it's black there? I think it just crashed. Oh, wait. Maybe it's not. Here, let me pull this on another screen here and see if it looks like it's working. Okay, sweet. Look at that. This is only the second time that I've done this, and I don't recommend running I don't recommend running Webinar Jam and Zoom at the exact same time because that's a lot of resources. But if you would like to watch this on my Facebook page, you can check it out. I'm just going to post this on. I'm just going to post this on this link on Webinar Jam so you guys can see it if you want to paste it, if you want to watch it on Facebook Live. But this is essentially what it looks like. So it's actually being broadcast. You could pick up your phone right now and you could go to my Facebook page, Bret Gregory, and you could actually see this on my Facebook page right now. Cool. So that's how you do it. Super fun. And the one other thing that I will mention is if you go to Facebook Live, I would recommend you check this out on Facebook for a very specific reason, and I'll tell you at the end. And what that reason, or I'll remind you at the end. But what that reason is whenever we do a Facebook Live webinar, and so it's a webinar where we broadcast it on Facebook Live. I always turn that post into an ad. And when I do that, so here's my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/like-Bret. I'm going to pop this in the Webinar Jam chat so you guys can check it out. But when I do this, I always turn it into an advertisement. And this is the last one here. Let me scroll down and see the video. Okay, there's the one that's live now. You can see that it's live on our screen. So in fact, hang on just a second. You're definitely going to want to do this. Give us your questions here for today's Facebook Live webinar. All right, and the reason why you might want to go and do that and respond to that is because we're going to turn this into an ad afterward. Now, you can't run an ad on a Facebook Live post while it's live, but as soon as we're done here in about, at the top of the hour, we're going to go and turn that post into a advertisement. And so what's cool about that is that we can get a whole lot of views. So here was our last one. We reached 62,000 people. We got 17,000 views, okay? So this was the last post here, just from last week. We do this every Tuesday at the same time, 4 p.m. Pacific. But you can see here, this was last week's. But here's the magic of this. This is why you should pay close attention. 17,000 views. We reached 62,000 people, okay? And it's because we turned this into an ad, and you can see all the comments and all the social proof that it got, and that's part of why you might want to learn how to do this and how to use Facebook ads properly, because I'm about to show you how to do all this stuff. But again, the main reason why is there's just so much incredible, massive reach on Facebook Live. And I think we only, here, let's see, how much did I spend to reach all those people? Here, that was 62,000 people, 17,000 views. And there's so many people on, it's slowing us down here because I'm running. I got a lot of people on Webinar Jam, and I'm running Facebook Live all at the same time, so it's soaking up just a ton of resources. Again, I don't recommend that. But for $30, I only spent $30. 17,000 people saw the video. For 30 bucks, 62,000 people were reached, okay? That's pretty awesome, all right? That's pretty amazing. So again, that's why you might want to, I do recommend, check this out on my Facebook page. And I just gave you the link there a couple times. So you go to my Facebook page, I'll give you the link again, and check it out. And write your questions on the post. The reason why is because I'm going to turn this into an ad. Last time it reached 62,000 people. If you want to get free exposure, you just write your comments. Anytime you have a question, write your question on the Facebook Live post. You will have the opportunity to get seen by those, 17,000 people. And we always advertise to business owners, coaches, authors, speakers. Those are the types of people that we're advertising to, and a whole lot of them. Okay, so let's jump in and talk about our, we're gonna go over a few things today. We're gonna start off with Facebook ad placement because Facebook is always changing. They're always changing what your Facebook ads are all about. So I'm just gonna start off by going through the Facebook ads placement. Write your questions below. And oh, there you go. So Janet Grace says, will you be showing us the Facebook ad method that you use to reach 62,000? As a matter of fact, Janet Grace, I will show you that. And then PK Odell, hey PK. So both Janet Grace and PK Odell are in our 12-month masterminds. What's the best length of time for a Facebook Live post that will turn into a Facebook ad after it's finished? Boy, that's a loaded question there, Miss PK. So really, there is no best time. These, I always do, about an hour-long weekly webinar where people can come and ask all the questions like you guys are asking. And that's how I do it. And then Sharon's got another question. Love your suggestion to use Facebook Live. So there's really no time that's like the best amount of time. If I were doing a pure video ad, PK, if I were just doing a video ad, then I would make it like 60 seconds or like 2 minutes or less. But this isn't a video ad that we're doing right now. And Tammy Pine asks, what if we don't have the same large following? I'm going to show you what to do if you don't have the same large following. Tammy, great question. Internet Income Coach says, what type of Mac are you using that can handle running webinar? I'm just using a regular old MacBook Pro. And when I say old, I mean I bought this in 2012. So it's not some fancy new Mac, Mr. Internet Income Coach. It's not a fancy new Mac. It's just kind of the standard, went to the Mac store, bought it off the rack shelf, MacBook Pro, and it's 2012. So this is a 4-year-old machine that is able to handle this. Again, I'm not recommending it. I think if I had a fancy new Mac, it'd probably run it a little bit faster and a little bit smoother. But this is what I got going on, and I am going to transition. These webinars. We're probably going to stop doing it on Webinar Jam and just exclusively do it on Facebook Live. But again, I haven't completely made that decision yet because we have like literally 5,000 people registered on Webinar Jam. So we have to transition all those people over to Facebook Live, and that's always a tricky situation, but it's something we might do. Okay, let's play. So here we go, Facebook ad placement. All right, so the first thing we want to talk about is our Facebook ad placement. And what all that means is that's where your customers are going to see your ads, okay? So you see Facebook ads when you go on your computer. This is called the desktop placement. So that's desktop means when you're on your computer, this is where you see your ads. You're on your computer on Facebook. This is where you see your ads. This would be the right-hand column kind of placement. People ask me all the time, what's the best placement? There is no best placement. There just are different placements for different things. A lot of times people say, oh, I should never run a right-hand column ad. And some of my best ads are run on the right-hand column. That's the placement where you see right there. So and this of course is your mobile phone placement. Then of course we have Instagram. If you run an ad on Instagram, most people on Instagram, well, most people on Facebook even these days are on their phone. But if you're on Instagram, that's what it looks like on Instagram on your phone. And then there's also a placement called lead ads. Lead ads. And lead ads came out about a year ago. And it's just a type of ad where you see it on your cell phone. Pretty much only see it on your cell phone. And what it does is when you create a lead ad, you can click the subscribe button, and it automatically, it being Facebook, automatically gives the advertiser your email and name. And now, of course, you have to give them permission to do that by clicking the submit button. You click the subscribe and submit button, and then you've given them your email address. So it's a great way to build your list. There's pluses and minuses to it. Plus is you can usually build your lists less expensively. You usually get the leads cheaper, which can be really good. But the downside is fewer people actually visit your website. And for me, almost my entire reason to do Facebook ads is to get people off of Facebook and onto my website. And of course, I use it for list building, but I want people on my website. So I don't use these quite as much. We use them, and sometimes it works, but we use them for the right things. And so there's pluses and minuses to everything. There is no right or wrong. They're just different, and so you use different types of ads for different purposes. When you're creating your ads, this is what the Facebook Ads Manager looks like. And so when you're creating your ads, it's going to give you options of where do you want your ads to show. If you want it to show in the desktop news feed, this is an example of where your ad will get shown in the desktop news feed. If you want it on the mobile phones, it'll give you a preview like this. If you want it on the right-hand column, there's your preview. And then if you want it on Instagram, there's your preview. So as well as the audience network. So that's where your Facebook ads show up. That's just it's a simple way to show you where your Facebook ads show up when you're running those Facebook ads, and that's important to know where they go. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next section here, and as you have your questions, please post your questions. So again, for those of you who are on Webinar Jam, I'm going to recommend you guys pop over to Facebook Live and ask your questions there, because if you do, you're going to get seen when we turn this puppy into an ad. You're going to get seen. The last one, got seen by 17,000 people. So just go into Facebook Live, and you can write a comment on the post, just like Internet Coach Tammy, Sharon Marshall, Janet Grace, PK, and my friends have all asked questions there. So those folks who ask questions there are going to get seen by a whole lot of people. Okay, so Mark says, I prefer Webinar Jam. Facebook Live doesn't work for me. It overloads the PC and freezes. I hear you, my friend. Iris is from Virginia Beach. Hey, Iris and Darlene, nice to have you here. Okay, so now let's go to the different types of Facebook ads. So if you've run Facebook ads at all, you'll notice it feels like every time I go into the Facebook Ads Manager, it changes. Something is different. Okay, so when you're running your Facebook ads, sometimes people have trouble even finding the Facebook Ads Manager. So that part, if you have trouble finding the Facebook Ads Manager, you just go to facebook.com/ads/manage. There's usually buttons all over the place that say, hey, create an ad, and because they want you to pay them money and create ads. But when you go to create an ad, you click on this create ad button on the right-hand side. Okay, so a lot of times, when we're teaching people how to create ads, there's different types of ads. They're for different purposes. Okay, so let's just talk about what some of the different purposes are. For example, if when you click the create ad button, you have some choices here, and so the first thing you do is you choose your objective. Now, I don't love the way that Facebook laid this out, because they say here in this column, they consider that awareness, they consider this one consideration, whatever that means, and they call this one conversion. I just don't love how they broke this out. And then there's these other two buttons, which I think are further confusing, but I'm going to break it down and make it easy for you. They say auction and then reach and frequency here. Do not worry about these two buttons. Don't worry about them. I wish they weren't there. I feel like they're just confusing to people. It won't make a bit of difference if you don't touch them, because the only thing that happens if you click reach and frequency are a few of the choices go away. That's it. So just leave them. So don't touch these two buttons at the top. The awareness, now they say brand awareness, local awareness, and reach. Again, I don't love how they labeled those, because really local awareness just means you're running an ad to people who are close by, and you can still run a traffic ad and a conversion ad to people who are close by. So I don't know why they labeled it this way, because I find it more confusing than I think it needs to be. But for our purposes here, this left side is brand awareness, and I really don't use any of these ads for my coaching business to find customers for our coaching business. Most of our ads that we run are here either in consideration or conversion. So for example, if you want to get lots of page likes, like we have 260,000 likes on our page. If you want to get lots of page likes, you're going to click on consideration and you're going to click on engagement. Again, I think that's confusing, but that's just how they chose to do it. So if you want to do a page likes campaign, you click on engagement and then you choose page likes. And then the last one here is conversions. And what they mean by conversions, that could mean somebody clicks on your website and they give you their email address. That's a conversion. They click on your website and they opt into your webinar. That's a conversion. They click on your website and they sign up for a one-on-one. That's a conversion. They click on your website and they buy a product. That's a conversion. But don't worry about, please don't let that confuse you, because it's really there's just three sections there. And I'm going to kind of break it down for you and focus on one. And then on this left-hand side, I do like the left-hand side. The left-hand side, they did a good job here on breaking it down, making it very systematic so that when you walk through kind of step by step, it just follows each piece, and they make that part really easy. So I appreciate the left-hand side more than the center here. So here's how this works. If you want to make a page likes campaign, you just click the button that says engagement. And then down below, you'll see that these pop up. You can choose something called post engagement, which is the same thing as a boosted post. You can choose page likes, which is if you want to get people to like your page the same way that we did. And Janet Grace asked the question, hey, you're going to show us how you got 60,000 people off of 30 bucks. I am going to show you that. And if you want to get lots of page likes, at a low price, I teach something called the global ad secret. But this is how you do it. You click engagement, and then you click this button here called page likes. All right. But if this button here is selected, that's post engagement. So that's the same thing as a boosted post. All right. So if you have a Facebook page and you do a post, you'll notice down in the lower right-hand corner here is a blue button that says boost post. Okay, boosting post gets you engagement. So engagement means likes, comments, and shares. All right. So when if I want to grow my email list, I might do a post on my Facebook page to drive traffic to my website where I'll give away a free gift in exchange for an email address. That's called a lead magnet. It's just a fancy way of saying I'm going to give you a free gift in exchange for your email. And if I do this post, if I just click the boost post button to create an ad on my post, I'm going to get lots of engagement. That means I'm going to get lots of likes. I might get some comments. I might even get some shares. But what I won't get is I won't get people coming to my website. That requires a different type of ad. Okay, so let me show you. So if you click boost post, in this case, I boosted this post for 10 bucks. And here's what happened. I got 58 likes on this post, which is fine for what I was trying to do. I was just trying to get likes on the post. 10 bucks, 58 likes. I got a bunch of people clicked on the photos, but I got the likes that I wanted. But if I want to get people coming to the website so they can give me their email address, that requires a second type of ad. So because in this case, for 10 bucks, I only got one person clicking on the link to go to my website. Now, if that's what my goal was, to get people driving to my website, I should have done a different type of an ad, because that's a horrible result. $10 for one click. That's terrible. Good news is that's not what I was trying to do. What I was trying to do is get lots of likes for a low price. And that's what a boosted post does, okay? So when you're trying to get social proof, you're trying to get lots of likes, comments, and shares, you boost the post. That's great for social proof. That is, if you want to get people clicking to your website, then you use a different type of ad called a website clicks ad, okay? So I just showed you the engagement. That was called post engagement. I just showed you that. Now I'm going to show you page likes. If you want to get page likes, you click engagement, and you select the one that says page likes, and then you hit continue, and that's when you go and create a page likes ad campaign, okay? So let's move on here. And hi, Maria from Greece, still in California. Wonderful to have you here. I'm going to pop in and ask. So again, if anybody wants to get lots of free exposure, just pop over to Facebook Live and write your questions there on Facebook Live. For those of you who are on Facebook Live, I'm actually talking to the people on Webinar Jam. We're doing a simulcast at the moment. So Ken Wells, hey, my friend Ken Wells, how you doing? Ken Wells, is it a good idea to put blogs into an ad? Sure thing. Yeah, if you want to drive traffic to your blog, yes, absolutely. And yeah, and even if it's about being successful in the workplace. Sharon Ann Marshall, what's the difference between Power Editor and Ads Manager? Well, it's pretty different. When you, Power Editor is, I don't teach Power Editor, by the way. We use it in our Facebook ads agency, but I don't teach it. It is a lot more powerful, but it also increases the complexity. It's a lot more robust. It's a lot more powerful than Facebook Ads Manager. Everything that I'm showing you how to do is in Facebook's Ads Manager, so just use that. Iris, I always boost ads. I'm assuming that this is not the best way. Well, again, Iris, if you boost a post, boosting post is great to get lots of likes, comments, and shares. But if you want people to go to your website, you use a different type of an ad called a website clicks ad, okay? So now let's go. Again, you're going to look at my picture of me on top of Kilimanjaro in Africa here while I switch out the slides. Okay, so now let's talk about how do you find your customers? So we're going to run ads, but first you got to figure out where your customers are. Okay, so here's the way to do that. So Facebook has a really cool tool that allows you to find and laser target your customers. And we do different types of audiences for different types of goals. If my goal is to get lots of Facebook likes at a low price, I'm going to target an absolutely huge audience. I'm going to target 40 million people who live in all countries all over the world, not just the US, but countries all over the world, who like entrepreneurship and small business and Facebook marketing and online coaching and things like that. And I can run an ad to those people and get a very low cost per like. And that serves a good purpose. It serves a great purpose of getting a lot of social proof. But if my goal is to fill up a local seminar, I'm going to do a completely different audience. My audience is going to be people who just live in, Southern California. If I'm doing a seminar in Southern California like we did 2 weeks ago. So different audiences are for different things. So in this case, I'm going to show you how to use Facebook's Audience Insights tool so that you can pick your perfect audience for the perfect reason. All right, so how do you get there? So inside your Facebook Ads Manager, you'll click on these 3 lines next to the words Ads Manager. It's in the upper left-hand corner. And once you're in there, you'll see this drop down, and you click this drop down, you click on all tools, and it expands, and you click on the one that says Audience Insights. All right, so you select Audience Insights, and then now you choose a starting point. Just for now, choose everyone on Facebook. Just start there, make it easy on yourself. Don't worry about these other ones yet. These other ones are going to be a little bit more advanced. You got to have a larger page if you want to do people to your page. You have to have a bigger email list if you want to do a custom audience. Just start with everybody on Facebook. It's easy. Once you're there, then you've got your location, your age, and interest. Okay, so again, if I am trying to get lots of page likes at a low cost, the worst thing that I could do is advertise just to people who live in Southern California. That might cost me $17 to get 1 like. That's not very good. Instead, what I would do is I would advertise to people who live in countries all over the world, and because the US is the most expensive place to advertise in. So that's, if I was looking for low cost likes, that's what I would do. If I was trying to fill a webinar, or excuse me, if I was trying to fill a live event in Southern California, then I would advertise only to people in Southern California. So it defaults here usually to your home country. And what I would recommend doing is, if you've never created an audience before, start out by creating a large audience with people who live in countries all over the world who are interested in what it is that you do and what you offer, okay? So we've got here this location. You see it says United States, and then you can choose age and gender and so on. So then what I like to do is, it says, what pages do your customers like? You can click on page likes on inside this option. So one of the options is page likes. So what I like to do is I like to put in a couple of page names, other Facebook page names, that I think my clients will have liked. I put those in, and then I select page likes, and then it's going to come up with a lot of suggestions for me that are really valuable. This option is household income, and now this is available for people who live in the US only. If you're targeting people who live in the US, you can slice and dice your audience by income. Let's say you only want to reach people who make more than $75,000 a year, who live inside the United States. You can do that. Now that's going to be a much more expensive ad than if you're advertising to people all over the world, but you could still do that. You could slice and dice for people who own homes or just rent homes. You can slice and dice for people who are married, people who are having a baby, people who are, have a particular kind of job. But what I really like to do when I'm laser targeting our clients is I can go in, I choose the countries, I choose age and gender. And in this instance, let's say if you are a health coach and your ideal client are women over the age of 40, you can select women over the age of 40 and who have these interests, meaning they've liked these pages on Facebook, or they've indicated these interests on Facebook. They like Dr. Oz, they like Paula Deen, they like Whole Foods Market, and usually they like Women's Health Magazine. And if you select a couple of those and then you select page likes, it'll give you a bunch of other suggestions. Okay, so one, like here's an example, 12 tomatoes. That happens to be a website, a really popular recipe website that a lot of this person's clients might want. It might also suggest alternative medicine. It might also suggest detoxification and health and wellness and so on. So it gives you the suggestions so that you can find and laser target your right kind of people, that your exact kind of customer. They give you location. So here's an example. Again, if I'm running an ad and I'm trying to target, ideal customers all over the world, these are my top 5 countries of where people who have purchased our online programs: Australia, Canada, New Zealand, United Kingdom, and the United States. Now, when I first got started into this business, I never imagined in a million years that someone from another country would want to buy my program. Never. It just didn't occur to me. I just had a mindset that was closed to that. But then something interesting happened in 2010. I created my first information product, and when people started buying it, I started looking at where they were from, and half of the people were from outside my home country. There's a whole big world out there. And so once I realized that, I started advertising all over the world, and it opened up an absolutely enormous opportunity and floodgates of clients coming from all over the world. And so I mention that because I had I just had a mental block before I started having people from outside the US purchase our program. So I'm recommending to you that you keep an open mind. Even, sometimes people, even if you have a brick and mortar business that is a local business, that doesn't mean that you can't have people liking your page from all over the world. That doesn't mean that you can't build a list of the right kind of people from all over the world that you can eventually market and sell programs, products, and services to. So here's your exercise. So everybody's going to do this, and this is going to be a lot of fun. When you go, you're going to create a custom audience. So if you've never done it before, now's your chance. So you're going to create your own custom audience. And what you're going to do is you're going to get into your audience insights. Now, if you've never been to audience insights before, so I'm going to pop over to Facebook here, and we're going to go into my audience insights. So I'm going to get over there in just a second here. But if you've never done this before, sometimes people have a hard time finding audience insights. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop over to audience insights. So when you get to your Facebook ads manager, and remember, I mentioned, how do you get to your Facebook ads manager? If you can't find it, you can just type in facebook.com/ads/manage. There's usually lots of other ways to get to your Facebook ads manager, but I'm going to show you here, for example, when you're in in Facebook, up here in the upper right hand corner, this is one way to get to your Facebook ads manager. But then when you're in Facebook ads manager, once you're in there, you click on this audience insight, or excuse me, you click on these three lines in the upper left, and then you go down and you select all tools, because you see all these tools you have options into. Underneath plan, you click on audience insights, okay? And so now it takes you to your tools here, okay? So now that you're in the tools, now you can jump around. So we're gonna do something fun. So what I want you to do is, if you are on Facebook Live, I need a guinea pig, or also known as a volunteer. If you're on Facebook Live right now, go ahead and write in what your who your ideal customer is. So if you're on Facebook Live right now, go ahead and write who your ideal customer is. Sharon and Marshall, pick me. Well, Sharon, I want everybody to have a chance. So the first thing you need to do is tell us who your ideal customer is. Okay, tell us who your ideal customer is. All right. Customer is, tell us who your ideal customer is, please. And if you're on Google Hangouts, you can just pop over to this URL and tell us who your ideal customer is. So Janet Grace says entrepreneur. Tammy, women who are over 40 who have sleeping issues. Carol says Christians. Kate, social media managers who work in nonprofits. Awesome, thank you. And what else? Come on, give me a few more. Maria Kellis, male professionals. Awesome. And oh, thank you, PK. Says your 3-day Carlsbad seminar was fantastic. Thank you, thank you. Jeffrey Lee, women 40 to 50 in business. Judy Fritz, entrepreneur, small business owner. Kate, all right, you said social media managers. PK, 50-year-old single women who shop at Whole Foods and use alternative medicine, is a solopreneur. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do more than one. All right, so let's start off. I will start off with PK, because it's right here in front of me. All right, so let's do this. And don't worry if you didn't get picked. I'll pick you next time. Just hang in there with me, because I'm going to do more than one. All right, so PK. So first thing is, PK, I wouldn't just I would not just do US. I know you live in the US. PK's in our 12-month Make Six Figures Coaching from Anywhere Mastermind. And so I happen to know a little bit about her. She's a Feng Shui expert. PK, if you wouldn't mind here, tell me a little bit more about your client. Okay, so I know you're a Feng Shui expert. So ideally, if you could tell us, PK, what Facebook pages or just give me one page that your customers will have liked. And if you can go and write that in there, then I can go in and work with you there. And while you're doing that, I'm going to type in here. So you wouldn't just advertise in the US. I would do US, Canada. All right. I would do United Kingdom. I would definitely look at Australia. And I would look at New Zealand. I would also throw in, and everybody, it just depends on where you're from. So like I have a business in Costa Rica too. When I'm advertising to the businesses in Costa Rica, I might do a lot of Latin American countries. For PK, I know since she's based in the US, English-speaking clients, I'm going to suggest these countries here that I mentioned, plus Western European countries, and then I'll show you how to filter with English. So I might throw in like France, I might throw in Germany, I might throw in Sweden, I might throw in Switzerland, I would probably throw in Netherlands, might even throw in Ireland, okay, and all right, so I've got a nice breakdown there, okay, and then PK, you mentioned women, 50-year-old women, okay, so let's go. We can do that. I'm going to start out with a little bit larger audience. I'm going to just say let's just start off with women over 40 for the moment here. So I'm going to select women over 40, and then we can, if the audience ends up being too large, then we can always narrow it down by going women over 50. And then let's start off with interests. All right, so PK wrote here. So actually you wrote a couple of my friends here. Jennifer McLean, who's a friend of mine. She's amazing. And then Christine Closer, another friend of mine, Transformational Authors with Christine Closer. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off in interest. I'm going to start off with, let's see if we can find them. Jennifer McLean. Nope, she didn't pop up, but that's okay. Let's look at Transformational Authors. Nope, didn't pop up. Let's see if Christine Closer will pop up. So you might have to, Christine Closer. Oh, there she is. Look at that. All right, good. So we found Christine Closer. Okay, so once you find, you probably need a few of them, but once you find one, you can, we might need a little bit more. You can select page likes. It's not large enough, so we need a little bit larger of a demographic. So let's see who else we can find, PK. How about, you want to give me some other suggestions, PK? Because I'm trying a little bit of a blank here, but maybe we could do something along the lines of Marianne Williamson. So let's start off with, I'll grab Marianne Williamson, and then so that then, let's see, that has a larger audience. Let's see if that grabs some page likes for us. There we go. Okay, so now we've got, so see how it's now populating some people. We've got A Course in Miracle. So it's making suggestions now. So I click on page like, so it's making suggestions. A Course in Miracle, Nick Ortner, Omega Institute, The Master Shift. So let me just start. I'm going to put in a few of those. So we're going to go A Course in Miracles. All right, so I selected that. Let's throw in Louise Hay. All right, let's throw in Dr. Wayne Dyer. All right, you may want to throw in Doreen Virtue. All right, and so what's happening here is it's giving us these great suggestions, And then I can look in. I could go even farther. Maybe Eckhart Tolle is probably a good one here, and I can never spell that one, so that's why it's great that it shows it for me here, right? Eckharttolle, right? Okay, so there's Eckhart Tolle. So the cool thing is it just gives you these awesome suggestions. All right, Foundation for Inner Peace, the Master Shift. And the thing is, if I find something and I say, whoa, the Master Shift, that sounds cool. I don't know what it is, but it sounds cool. I can just click on it and it'll open up the Facebook page, the Master Shift. And then I can go in and learn a little bit more about it and see, hey, is this going to have a community for PK Odal? And, for people looking for Feng Shui, for example. So I could see here, this has 2.8 million likes, and it might be something that I want to throw in. So I can write it in. So let's see if we can populate it here. The Master Shift. There it is, right there, down at the bottom. Okay, so we included it. Cool. So now this gets you to an audience of 2 to 2.5 million monthly active people, PK. So if I were doing a Facebook page likes campaign, PK, if I were you, and I were doing a Facebook page likes campaign, the page likes campaign, you want to have a very large audience, okay? So what I would do in the page likes campaign is I would go down and select, age, let's say 21 and up. Now, I'm fully aware that your ideal client is over the age of 50. So the intention here of why would you do an audience that doesn't have customers in it? Well, the reason why you would create an audience to do a Facebook page likes campaign that might have people that don't fit your perfect target market are because you want to get low cost likes on your page. And probably what I would do is this is like 3 to 4 million. That's not enough. I would want to see, and I would throw in some much larger interests. I'd throw in like meditation. All right, let's go. We got to go pretty big here. So if I select meditation, that's going to be big. All right, there we go. Now we're up at like 30 million people. Now this is an audience where, and so it's just women who like all these things, including meditation, over the age of 21, so that you could get lots of low cost likes on your page. The purpose of that is to give you lots of social proof. So it's this day, if you're talking to a prospective customer, you better bet that they're going to go check out your page on Facebook. And if they come to your page and they see you only have 22 likes, they're going to make an immediate judgment about the quality of you and your work and your business based on the number of likes. It's not fair, it just is. So what we want to do is we want to get lots of real likes from real people who are genuinely interested in our stuff, but we don't want to pay a lot of money for that. So the way to do that is to create a very, very large audience like this. So what I would do is I would take this audience and I would save. You just click save and you name your audience here. And so I'm going to say this is like, 25 million women, age 21 plus, global, meditation. All right, so that's essentially the audience. I click save, all right, and now I've got that audience saved. Okay, so when you PK when you do a page likes campaign, this would be the example of an audience that I would use. Now, when you do a different campaign, like you're trying to build your email list and you're trying to get people on the phone for real coaching calls, then I would create a different audience. In that case, I would get rid of this meditation one. I would go and select women over the age of, let's see what happens if we go age 50. So if we go age 50, now we're at 1 million to 1.5 million monthly active people. So let's see if I can, let's see if it's going to let me change the name on this. Oh, here we go. Save as. So now you just click save as. And now I can save as 1.5 million women 50 plus. And I'm going to say Marianne Williamson. All right. And now I save that. So now I saved 2 different audiences. Okay, so and for two different purposes. All right, so now you've got your two different audiences, and you saw how easy that was. So you could just make another audience, and you click this more drop down, and you do save as, and then you can save those two different audiences. All right. So now let's go. We had a few other people who I'm going to go through. Let's see. Let me just go back and check on you guys here and see what you wrote. So yeah, PK, you got it. And then so let's go to let's see who else wrote. Women 40 to 50 in business. Judy, entrepreneur, small business owner. Janet Grace, entrepreneurs. Okay, Janet Grace. So tell me more about your entrepreneurs. So tell me specifically, female entrepreneurs. What kind of entrepreneurs do they do, Janet Grace? Tell me about your entrepreneurs. Okay, and so if I'm looking for entrepreneurs, I would go create new. Now in this case here, Janet Grace, I'm probably gonna recommend the same locations for you. So in this case, though, I'm going to get rid of the Course in Miracle. Christine Closer is an entrepreneur, so I'll save her. Wayne Dyer and Eckhart Tolle, maybe, but probably it's more along the lines of, hang on a second, like more along the lines of like a Brian Tracy. So let's here now go to go back to interests here, and I'm gonna here. In fact, I'm just gonna kind of start from scratch. So let's go to Brian Tracy because he teaches a lot of business stuff. Tracy. All right, so let's start with him, and then Janet Grace, go ahead and write some names of some entrepreneurs that you think your clients would like. So I see you wrote women in career transitions 30 plus, but give me a name of somebody they would have liked. So here you go. I write Brian Tracy, and you see what pops up: Jack Canfield, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar. These are the right kind of people for sure. John C. Maxwell, Success Magazine. In fact, I'm pretty much going to take all of those. So let's do Jack Canfield. All right, and then let's do Jim Rohn. All right, I would do Mind Valley Academy. All right. Whoops, I spelled it wrong. Mind Valley Academy, definitely. I would probably throw in Tony Robbins. All right, and I'd probably throw in John Assaraf. All right, and I'd probably throw in something like Success Magazine. Success Magazine. I'd probably throw in like Entrepreneur Magazine as well. And so let's see what we got here. So because we did women over age 50, it only comes up with 800 to 900,000 monthly active people, but it's giving a bunch of these other ones here. So let's see. Let's see. Is there somebody else? We had a few others here. I'm going to click see more down here, and it keeps going here. So we got Success Magazine, Heal Your Life, Mind Movies, and you can just keep clicking see more if you need help. I know Brendan Burchard is a good one. That'd probably be a good one. There you go. Select that one. So anyway, the point is you can just keep going and going and going on this, and it'll just keep giving you suggestions, and it'll keep giving you what you need. Like you wrote Deepak Chopra and Bob Proctor. Yeah, I would agree with those. There we go. Okay, cool. So again, these are women over age 50. So now we're up to 1.5 to 2 million monthly active people. So this is a good size list if you're trying to get people on a webinar, if you're trying to build your email list and you're going to drive traffic with a website clicks ad. That's the right kind of list. If you were going to do a page likes campaign, so I would save this one, and call this one, let's see, who's kind of the big person on this one. This one's more like Tony Robbins. So what I would do is I'd click more. I click save as. So I could see here, this one's also 1.5 million women 50 plus Tony Robbins. All right. And so now we're saving all these audiences, and you see how quickly this happens. It's super easy. And what we're going to do next week is I'm going to show you how to use these audiences to then create your ads, because it's as simple as this. You see how we got this audience now. Look at this green button. What's that? Create ad. You can just click on that button and boom, it goes right. And I'm going to recommend you use the ad create tool here. So you just click the ad create tool and then you go and create your ad. All right, so you can create whatever ad you want. If you want to create, in the case that I was just showing there for Janet Grace Nelson, this is the type of ad where you would drive traffic to your lead magnet and build your email list, okay? So that would be, you have two choices. One is, look at this, objectives have changed. And by the way, whenever you see this, I'd recommend taking the tour. It's going to tell you a little bit about it. Website clicks and apps engagement are now called traffic. All right, that part makes sense. Engagement, post engagement, page likes, events, responses are now called engagement. Doesn't make all the sense in the world, but that is what it is. Conversions is a new objective that includes website conversions and app engagement. So we would use conversions. This is all year is slightly more advanced, but when you use conversions, that just means you need your Facebook tracking pixel. Don't let that scare you. It's just a Facebook tracking pixel. You just copy and paste the sucker on your website. You need to do that in order to use this conversions. But don't let that scare you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't sweat it, because you can still do everything that you need to do without that. So be sure, if you got some value out of this and you want to get seen by a whole lot of people, go ahead and write the word value. If you got some value out of this, please go and write the word value in the Facebook chat. And what I'm going to do is, so you notice how it says boost unavailable. Well, why is that? That's because we're live right now. But as soon as we're done, I will be able to create a post out of this. And I will be able to create an ad. And so just like I did last time, where our ad got seen by 60,000 people, I'm going to do the same thing. So if you go and write the word value on the Facebook page post, then you're going to get the opportunity to get seen by a whole lot of people. Colin Porterfield, my friend, value. Janet Grace, value. Kate, value. Sharon, value. You guys are totally rock. Hi, Maria. So good to see so many familiar faces. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. We're going to be at the same place, the same time, next Tuesday. Be sure to tune in for more Facebook mastery. And we're going to show you the next step about how to use Facebook to drive traffic to your website, grow your email list, do all kinds of cool stuff. Until then, I am Bret Gregory. Thank you so much for being here. Much love, everybody, and we will see you next week. Namaste.